my website right now and download my free course on alternate picking mastery. It contains 5 essential exercises that will take you to alternate picking mastery faster than you can imagine. And then I've included my method of how to lay out a practice plan in just 1 to 2 minutes that will absolutely boost your results like nothing you ever tried before. So go download it right now. It's free. Hey, is a mode a key? Because some songs are written in the mode, right? Are we going to Scarborough Fair? That's a Dorian song, actually. So what's a key and what's a mode? You know, if you're into this, and I'm just going to assume that you know a little about the modal theory. So Ionian, for instance, that's C major, right? If you have a C major scale, then the Ionian mode would be playing the C major in the background, hence my previous videos about modes. Would be that sound in the background, and would be then the C major scale on top of that, with a focus on the notes of the chord in the background. But that's also the C major key, isn't it? Isn't Ionian just the key of major? Because, right, it's the C, or, right? And if that's true, then if I had, you know, the F, right, which is the 4th step of C, if I played that, and I started playing the C major scale, I would have a Lydian sound. I love that sound. It's just with a focus on the notes of the chord in the background, using the scale notes as passing notes will give me the Lydian sound, right? But isn't that a key also? If you can have a song that's in the Dorian mode completely, are you going to Scarborough Fair, something like that, right? Then what is the relationship between modes and keys? And here it is on a practical level, is that Ionian is the sound of the C major scale with the C major chord in the background. A mode is a sound, right? A combination of a chord and a scale. But a key is a way of saying this whole scale and its chords, like C major, D minor, E minor, F major, G major, and so all the chords that are derived from that scale, they line up 7 different chords, 7 different notes, and then 7 different chords, you know, created from the notes of each step in the scale. Those are the chords we have available here. But if we choose the C in that C major scale, to be the king, to be our home, to be the tonic, which is the word in music theory. If we choose that, we return to that, we start on that, then all the other chords play like a miracle up against that. Then suddenly we have three major chords in that scale. We have the 1st, the 4th, and the 5th step. Those are all major chords. And that's the tonic, the subdominant, and the dominant. And that's just the basis of Western music, baby. That major sound, in major anyway, right? And so, the Ionian mode, is just a combination of the C and the C major scale. The C major key is, when I say that, I mean that C is the king here. And all the other chords revolve around that, right? If I say A minor is the key, that's the same scale, but I've just changed one note to get the dominant right. Hope you know what I'm talking about. This is not this video where I'm going to explain that, but then I get the same, you know, if A is 1 now in the C major scale, then the 4th step from A is the subdominant, and the 5th step is the dominant. And those are all minor chords, but we changed the last one to make a stronger dominant feeling. But that's the minor key. And the major scale functions miraculously well with the C major, if we're focused on C major and not just major, with the C being the tonic, the king, where we start our song and where we end our song. Or, sorry, with the A minor as the king, which gives us two different keys in using the same scale almost. But as I'm playing in C major, I'm actually hearing several different modes as the chord whip by. I'm hearing, this is when it gets a little bit complex. I hope you have enough theoretical knowledge to follow me here, but let's say we have the C first, and we have the F, the subdominant, and then the dominant, the fifth chord of C, right? And then C again. And over. The first one is Ionian, Lydian, then dominant, which is Mixolydian, right? Ionian again, Lydian, and then Mixolydian. So we're actually hearing modes as the chord went by because we're hearing the C major scale, and then I'm focusing on the chords in the background. So we hear that chord scale relationship. But, and I hope this doesn't get too multi-level for you, but what you also hear, which is absolutely invisible, is the connection between the chords, which is a context in which you hear the modes. If I play, let me explain, because you hear the whole thing in a C major key context. So you hear the F because you heard the C being the tonic. So if I play F, I just play F here. If that's all I play, then your ear now is going to make that the tonic of whatever song you're about to hear. If I play then the Lydian, now you hear the whole thing I'm playing, you hear without the C major context, which is a different experience because you weren't prepped already with the C major. This is magic. You should play around with this yourself. But if I play it in the C major context, it sounds quite differently. So if I... Oh, sorry, let me just... Oh, let me just, a little bit slower. So this is the C now, and then here's the F. So now you're going to hear the Lydian sound, but in a different context. This is Ionian, right, Phil? It doesn't sound as mysterious and foggy as before, right? Lydian again. Ionian and Lydian. Because you are waiting for that C major chord to happen again. So whatever sounds like a little bit of tension with the F major is going to sound like home when we get back to C, because that is what we have decided is home. And if you play a song in a mode, you take any one of the other chords in the key and say, that's tonic, that's home. And that's what happens in Are You Going to Scarborough Fair? Parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme. Don't know the chords. I'm a little bit badly prepared here. But that's what happens there. Suddenly you... Right? So now you hear every chord that comes, you hear in a Dorian context. So you just have to remember that this sounds incredibly complex, but once you have the experience of it in your body, you take your looper and you start saying, okay, let me see the F, let me play a Lydian, Let me now play in C major, which is just a word to describe that now we have all the chords set into a key where C major is the king, is our home. Let's assign home to the F instead and play some other chords, with that. That would be making Lydian a key, right? But it doesn't work as well as the Ionian, because there we have other chords that really work well. We have the dominant that leads up to the tonic, and we have the subdominant that basically leads up to the dominant. Well, that's what we like, the human ear likes. So I hope this whole conversation made any sense. If not, go study the modes again. Go, and I don't mean in books, because go take your looper pedal, investigate, really get knowledgeable on the basis of experience with this, right? And sounds, and then it will all make sense to you gradually what this is really about.
Subscribe for more free videos. Do it. Do it now. Do it.